Hey everybody, Mediocre Gamers, where we discuss all things gaming. I'm Caleb, and I'm joined today by my co-host Crimson.
Yo, 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 yo.
Now, we're gonna do a little bit of something different this week because we are wanting to talk about Magic, specifically its current state, the dumb shittery of the reserved list, and what the future holds.
Oh,
So,
tons of magic information and our
tons.
thoughts, our thoughts on it.
But first, I did want to say that there is a game that I did get a chance to play, and it's super duper popular, and I think it's a piece of fucking shit. That's Fortnite. You can send all hate mail right up your own rectum.
I didn't like it either.
It is terrible. I don't understand why it's popular. I really don't. It's because I jumped in to Battle Royale. I spawned in. I waited a while till I was close to the edge of the map, parachuted out, and I didn't even notice that there were two other players that parachuted at the same time. So we all went to the same building, which was like a warehouse, and
then punched each other to death.
No, one of the guys got in first. He got a pistol, and two of us double teamed him with pickaxes. I got in about 6 or 8 hits. The other guy got in a few too, and he killed both of us.
Oh yeah.
You only have 100 health.
Yeah, you don't want to spawn anywhere near anybody.
But you only have 100 health, and the pickaxe does 10 damage a hit. We hit him at over 12 times. And he killed us, and still had 30 or 40 health left.
Did he have like a potion or something? Or some armor? Maybe he picked up armor in the house.
I mean, we literally all spawned and ran towards the pistol at the same time.
I don't know.
Exactly, because it sucks. The second run, I ended up getting a sniper rifle and some other stuff. And I end up finding this dude who's got a shotgun, and he's like way off. I hit him in the head. 7 times.
Jeez.
He was able to run through all of my sniper shots in a single file line and kill me.
Sounds like a wonderful game.
Yep, that's when and he had full health and full armor after he killed me. Every one of those headshots did 0 damage to him. Alt F4, uninstall, doodah, doodah. Yeah, I'm glad everybody's, making it into something it's not. Yeah, that too. I'm real glad that I never bought PUBG. While I like the premise of it better, it's so poorly optimized that nobody can run it.
Yeah, if PUBG was a little bit more optimized, it would be. Mm-hmm. I would be playing it more.
Yep. But it's just not fun.
Well, did you play a fun game at least?
Yeah, me and you got to play a little bit of Division this morning at the crack of fucking midnight.
It was a very fun experience. I enjoyed it a lot.
And you finally got to mess around in the dark zone a little bit, although you didn't get gangbanged in the alley like normal, so...
Yeah, so that was nice.
Yeah, the funniest thing that I've heard all week was, Dark Zone's not that bad. Like, you have not seen it yet. But, yeah, we got to mess around in the Dark Zone, got to do some story missions, got to do some side quests, and hopefully this week we'll be able to do a survival mode. Because you have not got to try it at all.
If you're not doing anything tomorrow when I get off work, I would be interested.
Maybe we can stream it or make a video or something.
Yep, definitely stream it.
Sweet.
And now that
other than that,
have clips enabled, people can watch it on my Twitch afterwards.
Exactly. And hopefully Shadowplay won't, glitch out and shut it down.
Oh, yeah. I
right when shit gets good.
No clue what happened there.
Me either.
But we had about 4 people watching us, so that wasn't bad.
Nice! That's 4 more than I expected.
Same here.
especially at that time of night.
Yeah.
That's cool. You got your Russian buddies from World of Warships watching us.
Probably.
Nice.
Oh.
But yeah, so we kind of wanted to jump around and talk about Magic. We've both kind of gotten back into it to some degree. I know that you've been looking more towards like Standard and stuff like that, and I've gotten back into Commander.
I've always liked Standard, mainly for the consistency that the decks give, and the fact that, you know, when you go across somebody and you play them, you kind of can know what's in their deck. Where the other formats, the card pool is so large that it's very hard to guesstimate what they're going to play.
Yeah, and see, you like to be able to basically count cards and go, this person's running blue-white in Standard, so they're running these cards. So I need to go, you've used 3 of your 4 board resets, so now I have to try to bait you into using the 4th one.
Yep, exactly.
And then I'm home free. I'm the opposite. I sit down to a Commander game and I go, you're running Rakdos, Lord of Riots? What the fuck is that?
Yep.
What could you even possibly be running with that? And that's what I like about it. I like being able to sit down and have everybody playing drastically different janky-ass decks and seeing cards I've never seen and combos I've never seen and that sort of thing. So you definitely like the more competitive side. I like the more casual side.
Yes. So
that being said, we have a lot of similar opinions on this game right now.
And we have a lot of not similar opinions. And
Correct.
That's okay too.
Yep.
You know, we get to enjoy both sides of this. The first thing we want to talk about is the thing that just came out, which is Magic Arena. It is in beta testing. They are sending out codes. But you can watch people play it on Twitch just fine.
If you want to play Hearthstone with Magic cards.
Yeah, this is not Magic Online. Now, it is the full version of Magic. Everything is there. All the cards from the sets that are released are all there. It is Magic, but it is in a Hearthstone shell, which
that's weird.
Is disappointing in a lot of ways. Like, I understand what they're trying to do. They want to get the Hearthstone crowd. You know, that's a couple $2 billion a year that they would like to have. But it's not going to work. I hate to say it. It's going to fail. What's going to end up happening is in 3 years, they're just going to turn it into Magic Online version 2, which they should have just done from the first place.
Yep. The problem that I see with it is exactly what you were saying. It has a Hearthstone shell. And while normally that can be fine, it doesn't really offer the same experience. And so they're trying to run Magic Online still and Magic Arena coming out. And they have said that they are going to support both of them for a time. So we don't know if Magic Arena is going to flop, and then they're just going to keep supporting Magic Online. We don't know if Magic Arena is going to take off, and then they're going to, screw everybody out of Magic Online, which they should, because it's about, 10 years past its fucking due date?
It's a terrible program. I mean, it is a fucking terrible program.
Do you remember
great
Apprentice?
Concept.
Back in the day, you remember Apprentice, the program? Yeah. That was better than Magic Online.
Magic Workstation.
Magic Workstation still holds up.
Yeah. It's just... I like the concept of Magic Online.
Me too. Minus the still charging $4 a fucking pack.
That's where I have not been able to invest into it.
And that's also the problem with Magic Arena, from what I've been hearing, is that it's still fucking retail.
Yeah, we don't know the prices. We do know that a pack will cost 1,000 gold, and it will take you roughly 2 days to 3 days to get 1,000 gold just doing quests. Now, you also get a couple packs due to weekly quests.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still looking at a very low amount of packs available. The other big thing is, what about draft? Is it going to be Magic Draft, or is it going to be Hearthstone Draft, where you don't get to keep the cards? There's talk of both. Hearthstone Draft allows it to be cheaper and allows people to enjoy the draft format and maybe even practice for paper Magic.
But here's the thing: is it's exactly what you just said. It's cheaper, but it's still going to cost.
Right.
So why would I draft and not get to keep anything, and possibly not win anything, rather than paying, what is it, $20 to draft?
Yeah. Yep.
Rather than paying $20 to possibly get, not Jason the Mind Sculptor, but foil hostage taker or some shit. Like, again, it all comes down to gambling and loot boxes, because trading card games are the originals.
Yep, that's what trading card games are.
But draft tweaks that a little bit.
Correct.
It takes some of the gambling out because you have everybody at the table gambling, but people are gambling for different things. Some people are hyper competitive and they're like, yeah, there's a Jace the Mind Sculptor in this pack, but as much as I want to take that, I would rather take this rare or uncommon that's in this pack that can help me actually win this, and I get a box.
Yeah. What it comes down to for me is, if 1,000 gold translates to, say, $2,
mm-hmm.
But then if you buy a lot of gold at one time, you can get the packs down to $1.50. If you can get the packs to $1.50, I'll buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
If the packs are $4, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
that's simple.
I'd say that's about where I'm at with it too. Like,
now
if the packs are $4, I'm not even gonna get. Like, right. I won't even download it.
Now, I will also make a separate account that is not attached to my DCI to play Magic Arena. Why? Because the one thing that I really hate is, I don't enjoy this anymore. Oh, well, I just threw away $1,000 because I can't trade. No, I will sell the fucking account.
Yeah. That's kind of like with Hearthstone. It's like, I honestly would love to sell my Hearthstone account.
In a heartbeat. I would.
And I'm like,
I'd get $2,000 for my Hearthstone account. Easy.
You mean in a heartbeat?
Yep.
Oh!
Because anyway, I have the original 3-month, the first 3 card backs.
Yep.
Yeah, I would easily get thousands of dollars for my Hearthstone account. But I can't sell it because it's attached to my World of Warcraft account and my Diablo account.
Yep. And then, so you'd have to sell the entire Blizzard account, and in which case that's going to be even more money that they would spend to buy it. It creates a whole big old fucking loophole.
If they want my Blizzard account, I need 10 grand at least. Sorry, but I have the name Crimson on 5 servers.
To which no one but you gives a shit about.
It's worth 10 grand to me.
Yep. But yeah, so that ends up being one of the problems of having games that you can't trade, is that you either have to sell the entire account, which most of the time goes against their terms of usage or whatever.
Yep.
Or you just have to bite the bullet and be like, yeah, I wasted thousands of dollars on this game that I'll never get back.
Yep. And here's the thing. Like, when you watch people play Magic Arena, it looks good. It looks solid. It's smooth. It goes quickly. It reminds you of Eternal, honestly.
And that was going to be my next question. Why would I bother with Magic Arena when I could just play Eternal?
Yeah, and Eternal is really good.
It is. It's not Magic, but it does scratch that itch.
Damn close.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lightning bolts.
It's as close as we're going to get without it being an actual Wizards product.
Yeah.
But the problem with Wizards, and this is actually something that we talked about this morning, was that they think that their shit is just the best thing on the planet because it says Magic the Gathering on it. They're very iPhone-y, or Apple, where they sit there and they go, we could sell you a brick with the Apple stamp on it and you fuckers would buy it.
Yes,
and
that is
Wizards
the
is the same way. They go, if I stamp that Planeswalker symbol on there and say Magic the Gathering, you're going to buy it. And that's not actually the case. Yep. Look at Duel of the Planeswalkers, the super shitty fucking mobile games and Steam games and stuff. That's like, it's kind of Magic, but it's not.
Yeah, and it's so far behind on their sets. It's and it doesn't get updated. It's only like 3 sets.
Yeah.
I mean, Arena does look like something nicer than that. It's just
yeah.
I really do worry about the fact that there's no trading, which is a huge part of Magic.
Yeah.
There's no anything.
That's why Magic so Online has survived this long, is because it has trading.
It's exactly correct. And then, I don't know. I know in the future we will know more and be able to make a better guesstimate. But I will check it out. Even if it's $4 a pack, because I will just play it as a free player and not give them a dime.
Yeah, but and then review it as a free player.
Yeah, but that is the problem with Wizards, is the fact that they don't think they need to give discounted packs or give out a bunch of free packs because of the fact that they believe the name Magic will pull people away from Hearthstone without having to do that.
Yeah. And same with...
They're going to be wrong.
Yeah. And same with just the idea that... Because I've heard this going around as well, and that is that if they sell their packs cheaper than paper Magic, then people will stop playing paper Magic.
No.
That is literally false.
Not if they can't trade.
Exactly. But even if they could trade... If you're already invested in paper Magic, you're not going to quit playing paper Magic.
No,
you'll play both. But the idea that you're going to fuck everyone because some people may play it over paper Magic is asinine. If you drop your packs to $1 or $1.50 for the digital version, I will be able to invest in paper Magic and play with my local friends, and afford to play Magic Arena.
I agree.
So you get to double dip on me. And I usually buy singles, so guess what? You're actually getting no money from me.
I bought a pack of Masters 25 today.
Oh, yeah?
Actually,
did you get a foil Tree of Redemption?
I mini-mastered a pack of Magic 25.
Nice.
I talked to the guy behind the counter, and he was like, well, that sounds interesting. And I'm like, you want to play for the foil? Because nobody wants to play for the pack at a $10 pack.
No.
So I'm like, you want to play for the foil? And he's like, yeah, let's do that. And I won. Although,
did you foil Jace the Mind Sculptor?
No. But I will say there is one very fucking broken card when you're doing mini masters, and he pulled it.
What's that?
He pulled a Living Wish.
That's stupid.
So he's like, oh, well, let me just go over to my EDH deck and find a card. Luckily, I killed him before he could play the card. But yeah, that's a little fucking broken in mini masters.
Yep.
But yeah, you don't have a sideboard, so you can't go into your sideboard because you're using every card.
Yep.
I was like, oh, dude, that's some fucked up shit.
Yep. It's like, oh, I'll fetch for Fireball.
Yep. Yeah, that's surprised he didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, not bad. I think my foil was Accumulated Knowledge, which is
Okay.
a pretty damn good card. His foil was
Oh, yeah.
some land Ghost Quarter like,
Uh-huh.
destroy non-basic. They search their
Mm-hmm.
deck for a basic.
Mm-hmm.
So not bad. And then my rare was Sundering Titan, the one that when it
Ooh.
dies, destroy lands. Also
Yeah.
banned in Commander.
For some reason, which
Yeah.
we're gonna discuss. We're gonna discuss that after a while too.
Well, he explained it to me, and I kind of agree. He's like, dude, what about if you are able to blink that infinite amount of times? You could just you could wipe all land from all players.
Yeah, because it's actually when he enters the battlefield or leaves the
Leaves.
battlefield.
Yep.
Yeah. So you actually get to do it twice because he leaves and then comes back, leaves and then comes back, leaves and
Yep.
comes back.
I'm like, okay, that's broken.
Yeah, I can see that, especially when you can pick up Deadeye Navigator, which is like the best blink card in the game right now,
Yep.
and it's like $1.
Yeah. So let's talk about Masters 25.
Let's.
Let's talk about master sets in general. We've had what, 6, 7? No, 6.
I don't know. Has it been that many?
Yeah, we've had 3 moderns, an eternal, an iconic, and a master. The ones that have held their value are the modern and eternal. Why? Because they didn't put a lot of fucking jank in them.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the last 2 where they've thrown jank after jank after jank into the damn set. Period.
It's been bad.
Yeah. Now, oh yeah, great. You put Jace the Mind Sculptor, $150 card. You put an Imperial Recruiter, a $90 card. It still doesn't matter when the other 99% of the box is jank.
But you know what else is really stupid? So, Jace used to be about $500. He wasn't when he first came out, and then people broke him, and then he shot up in price, and then he got banned in Standard, and then he got banned in Modern. Well, then they go, well, we're going to release him in from the vault. Okay, cool. Nobody cares. Yay. If you could get it at retail price of the $40-$50, then great. But most stores were selling it for $100. But then they go, well, we're going to reprint it in Eternal Masters. And everybody was like, oh, sweet. And then they're like, but I can't play it in anything. Because he rotated out of Standard and he was banned in Modern.
Yep.
So then Masters 25 comes around and they go, well, we want the price of the Mind Sculptor to go back up. So what we're going to do is we're going to reprint him in a second Masters set.
And unban him
and then
modern.
Unban him in Modern. And it's like, I haven't seen a blatant cash grab like that in a long time.
And the cash grab failed.
And it did, because it only jumped him up to about 115 now. He was actually 140 last night, and I'm looking right now, and he's 115.
Yeah. He's not the price of a box.
No, he's not even close to the price of a box. Nope. Now, the prices of boxes are dropping like flies because it's insane how awful this set is. And it's great because I was even suckered in. Because I'm like, oh my god, they're reprinting Azusa, they're reprinting Jace the Mind Sculptor, they're reprinting Chalice of the Void. Oh my god, this set looks so good, and they're taking cards from all 25 years. And then I started really looking at it. I'm like, there's about 12 cards that are worth over $10.
Yeah. Now, if the boxes drop down
12 cards, but 12 cards that are worth the price of the pack.
Yeah. Now, if the box drops down to 130, it's worth picking one up. One. Yeah. But that's it.
I'd pick up 2. I'd pick up 1 for me and 1 to sit on.
Yeah. I will probably think about picking up an Iconic Master because they are at 120 or 130.
Are you shitting me?
No. But yeah, they're both sets have been terrible. All the other ones, 300 plus.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
And Iconic Masters wasn't even that bad of a set.
No, but what's in it?
Great. Yeah. It's, I mean...
You can name one card, and that's it.
I mean, it also had all the Praetors in it and stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the problem, is that Iconic Masters was incredible for Commander.
Yes.
Because it had Cryptic Command, Ancestral Vision, it had Mana Drain, it had Aether Vial to a lesser extent. Like, it's, I don't know, I don't think Aether Vial's as good as everybody says it is, but...
I don't think it is either.
But there's some solid stuff. But the problem is that it also only has about 12 or 13 cards that are above $10.
Yeah.
Now, it did reprint some cards that were $20 and it dropped their price, which is what it was supposed to do. Glimpse the Unthinkable was like $17. They reprinted it, it's now $8.
So what we have to think about when it comes to Masters. Now, I know Wizards said that they are going to hold off on doing Master sets for a while.
Well, thank fuck for that.
I mean, they did bring out Iconic and then bam, straight into 25.
Mm-hmm.
A little too quick, in my opinion.
And both were complete flops.
Yeah. But here's the thing they really need to think about. Quit charging us fucking $10 a pack.
Yep. And this is where the price reduction is a problem.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They reprinted Cryptic Command and Iconic Masters. It didn't go down in price.
No.
Ancestral Vision did not go down in price. Thoughtseize did not go down in price.
Mana
and it's
Drain.
Because Mana Drain didn't go... Well, actually, it's only $70, and I think it was 120?
Maybe.
No, the Legends one is still $180.
Right. The Italian Legends is $70.
Yep. But the Iconic Masters one is also $7.
Yeah, because I want the Legend one. I don't want the Iconic Masters one.
Yeah. Now, the opposite end of that is the Force of Will, when it got reprinted.
Yes.
It is higher than regular Force of Will.
And the reason why, there's a very good reason why. Force of Will is a fucking uncommon.
Yep.
It's like, of course, the mythic version's going to be worth more. There's less of them out there. There's a shit ton of Force of Wills out there.
Yep.
And they've been
the funny thing
artificially inflated.
Yes, they have. But I actually do like the Eternal Masters one better because I love the fucking art on it. And I love the fact that you can actually tell what the card says. Because back in Alliances, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of text.
Yes. For a simple, you may discard a blue card and lose a life instead of paying its casting cost.
Yeah, but it also says, effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this loss of life. Counter target spell. So there are certain times where I sit there and I go, I actually like the reprinted version better. This is one of the very few. Cryptic Command is another one.
I like the reprinted better because it's got them in dot points.
Yep.
It's just cleaner.
Yeah, and same when I'm like buying singles for my EDH stuff is when I buy any of the commands, when I buy can't remember what it was. It's not Supreme Verdict, it's the Merciless Eviction. Yeah. Merciless Eviction, most of them do not have the bullet points. But the newest one for Commander 2017 does. And I'm like, no, that's the one I want because I can read it.
Yeah, so I think the big thing is give us a little bit of time before you print another master set.
Yeah, think about what you did.
Maybe keep it modern instead of trying to do super old reprints that you can't do because of the reserved list. And keep the packs around $5.
If they were $6, I would buy master sets.
Yeah, if they were $5.99, that'd be fine. Maybe even $6.99, but no higher.
Yeah, no higher. And like Iconic Masters is $7.99 a pack online.
Yep.
You can probably get them cheaper, but
considering the box is $130.
Yeah, and on Cool Stuff they're $170, so I would not buy boxes from Cool Stuff unless they are a new set. Like Dominaria is like $80.
The problem with like those dealers is they have to sell it at a price where they still make profit based off of the price that they bought the box to begin with. For eBay, they can go cheaper because they're just trying to recoup any amount of money.
Yeah. Well, like one of the auctions that I saw, and I'll actually pull it up real quick because it was just fucking perfect. Yeah, Masters 25 is about 170 right now.
Yeah, I expect that to go down to 150 soon.
Yep. If it drops to about 130, I'll try to pick up a couple. Because they will eventually go up when they don't reprint Azusa and Phyrexian Obliterator and Chalice of the Void again for another 10 years.
I agree.
But it's going to take a while. It's probably going to take another, 4 or 5 years. Okay, here it is. Garbage Masters Booster Box Bundle. Iconic Masters plus Masters 25 plus an actual Magic card called Garbage Fire. And it is $317 for a box of each and a copy of Garbage Fire.
Yeah. Honestly, that's too expensive.
It is, because that's over $150 a piece.
Yep.
But yeah, this is why I don't get to play with the new Master sets, is because I don't make enough money to go draft it even. Yeah. And this is actually what pissed me off, is that, was it Iconic Masters that came out right before?
Yep.
Okay. So I really wanted to buy Iconic Masters because it did have some stuff I wanted, like the Praetors and Ancestral Vision and stuff. Mana Drain, of course. But Walmart had them for about $7-8 a pack, like they normally do. For Masters 25, you can only buy them in packs of 3, and they're $32.
Yep.
So they're higher than actual retail price of the packs.
And the Iconic Masters, I saw them at Walmart. They are ringing up as $10.59 now a pack.
What?
Yep.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I could tell you how to fuck Walmart over, but I won't.
Yeah, we won't be discussing that on this show.
Maybe off the air, I'll tell you what you can do.
There you go.
Now, we did have some other news from Wizards about a new format.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This one, I'm more interested than I think you are.
Yes, and that's because you are interested in Standard and I'm not really.
Correct.
It's called Commander Brawl. So it is a new singleton format, and it is a 60-card Standard Highlander. So same rules of Commander apply. You choose but it is any Planeswalker that is in Standard, or any Legendary that's in Standard.
Creature.
So, yes, any Legendary creature, any Planeswalker. So, I'm hoping that will transition into regular Commander, where we can use any Planeswalker. I think that would be cool. Especially since we have such a variety of them, and it would just open up a multitude of doors. But it is 60 cards instead of 100. Everything has to be Standard legal. Only one copy of each card that is not a basic land.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And it uses the Standard ban list, correct?
Yes, which is the weirdest ban list I've seen ever, actually. Stuff like Smuggler's Copter is on there. Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
It just came out, too.
Yeah, but we don't want to affect the price of Magic cards with our reserve list.
No, so we'll just ban cards in Standard, too, because our R&D team has no idea what they're doing, the players have no idea what they're doing, and we would rather suck the dicks of our investors and collectors than the people who actively buy cards every single week.
Yep, and we are going to get a lot more into that later.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think Commander Brawl can be very interesting.
I'm ready. I'm ready to play my Teferi.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting because of Dominaria, but also I think it's going to be cool because most people who play Standard do not play Commander. So this does
Yes.
open up an avenue for them to get into a singleton format.
And I like the fact that it's 60 card decks. It's a little easier to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have all the tutors. You don't have the dual
Yes.
lands. I mean, there
And
is
I think
some pluses.
part of it, yeah, and I think part of it that will help a lot is the fact that since it is 60 cards, if you had 40 more cards to go in the deck, I don't think you could build a standard
I don't
commander
think
deck.
you could either.
Not a functional one. You'd be throwing in so much trash
Yeah.
just to get up to 100 cards. So I'm pretty sure that's why they decided the 60 cards. And also to just coincide with standard.
Yeah. And you'll be starting at 30 life.
Yes.
And no commander damage.
And no commander damage, correct. It is, and the reason why that is because you don't need it, because there's no like infinite life gain stuff or infinite combo type nonsense in standard. Like there's probably a couple things, but they're really hard to pull off.
There will be.
Oh yeah, but when you can't, grab a card from alliances and this brand new card that came out that magically goes infinite with each other.
Yep.
And they don't like combo in standard, so
no, the Magic doesn't like combo, period.
Yeah, it's not, there's no longer a holy trinity of combo, control, aggro.
Nope, it's combo, control, or it's a control, aggro, tempo.
Yep. And tempo is not combo, so where's the fun in that? Now, with Commander, since we're talking about that, the guys at the Command Zone actually had a recent episode that was really good about how effective is the banned list, and do we really need it? And me and you talked about this a little bit this morning, and yes and no. Because me and you both want as few cards on the banned list as possible.
Correct. And in Commander, I'm okay with the Power 9 being banned.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Power cards being banned, cards that actually ruin the format like Caracas.
Yes.
Those sorts of things, like just having a land that says tap RFG or General basically every single time, that is a problem. So I can see that. I can see the Power 10. I can see Sundering Titan, Shahrazad, stuff like that. Prophet of Crufix, I still am on the fence about. Like, it is probably the best creature in Commander, but it's also not legendary, so it's not like you can just always have it on hand.
Correct. But then you run into cards like Reoccurring Nightmare.
Yeah, I don't understand why Reoccurring Nightmare is in there. If it is a combo card with another card, then where is that other card?
Yeah.
Because Reoccurring Nightmare is not that broken.
Yeah. Or you have a card like Balance.
I actually have no idea why Balance. I don't know why Biorhythm's on there.
Or Fast Bond.
Yeah. Because, and this is the funny thing, this is the funniest thing about Fast Bond. It says, 1 green enchantment. You may play any number of lands on each of your turn. Whenever you play a land, if it wasn't the first land you played this turn, Fast Bond deals 1 damage to you. So basically, you can go turn 1, lay down a forest, tap it for Fast Bond, and then you can, for 1 life each, play out every land in your hand.
What, like 2, maybe 3 more?
Exactly. How is that better than Burgeoning, which does not deal me damage, and it's every time that an opponent plays a land, I get to play a land.
Yep.
Now, when you have something in this game where I can have Burgeoning and what's the other one? Rhystic Study out on turn 2. So I go Burgeoning turn 1, Rhystic Study turn 2. I can be drawing roughly 4 cards a rotation. So I draw a whole bunch of cards, you play lands, I'm playing lands with you. And I'm drawing more cards, and then playing more lands. I don't see why Fast Bond is on there, but Burgeoning is not.
Or your favorite, Yagama's Bargain.
That is one of my favorite cards of the entire game, and I don't get why it's on here. Because it costs 6, and yes, I get you pay a life to draw a card.
And you
That's
have
great.
40 life.
And you have 40 life. Why is that on there, but Demonic Tutor's not? Because usually you're paying all that life to draw into a card that you need.
Yep.
So what is the difference between me paying 30 life to draw 30 cards to find the card I need, and then having to discard all of them at the end of the turn anyway, or being able to pay 2 mana to search for any card in my entire deck and have it in hand?
Or how about my favorite card, Tolarian Academy?
The fact that this is the only...
Are we really making a one-turn artifact kill deck in Commander? No. Not
really. Like, there's enough infinite combos in this game that I don't see why the Academy's on there. Especially when Sarah's Sanctum and Gaia's Cradle are not also banned.
Yep. It's just blue bias.
It is. And I've heard some arguments about why Tolarian Academy is so much better, and that's because artifacts are more useful technically in general and easier to play than something like an enchantment deck. But that's not really the case. It's really not. Because, yes, they are easier to play because you can sit there and go, I lay a land down, turn 1 Soul Ring, tap the Soul Ring into Grim Monolith into Basalt Monolith, so on and so forth. And you can get out a whole bunch of them and then be able to tap for 5 or 6 or whatever on turn 3. Cool. It's 1 card out of the 99.
Yeah. Good job. You just made yourself the target of the table.
Exactly. And this is actually a great subject to touch on with this, is if you become the target that quickly, you're just going to get shut down.
Yep.
And since Commander is primarily a multiplayer format, you have 3 players to keep that 1 player in check. So what this feels like when they're just banning cards because they're like, oh, it can get out of control. Let us as a group, as a community, as a local meta, decide how to deal with that. If somebody goes, hey, I can get, Tolarian Academy to tap for 8 on turn 2. Cool. I have Vandal Blast.
Cool.
Like, I'm running a bunch of...
How
about this? I'm playing cards that destroy land.
Yeah, I have a Strip Mine. I have a Ghost Quarter. I have a Wasteland.
Yeah, and there are enough of the Ghost Quarter-like lands now.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That are cheap. Like, Ghost Quarter's like $2. The new one that just came out, Field of Ruin or something like that, is like $2 or $3. Yeah, it drives me nuts because those can be played in every deck.
Mm-hmm.
And when you sit there and you go, well, this can create a problem because it can get out of hand, you are actually condescending to your own people because you're saying, we don't trust you to figure out a way to deal with the problem, even though it won't crop up all that much. So we're just going to make it not a problem for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But when you've got something like Gaia's Cradle, and with Commander, token decks run wild.
Oh, yeah.
And if you watch any of the Game Nights episodes where Josh Lee Kwai is playing any sort of green, he's sitting there going, oh, I play out a whole bunch of tokens, and then I double all the tokens, and then I've got whatever that one card is, the Panharmonicon, where it's whenever a creature comes into play, I untap all my stuff.
Yep.
And then, so you have the Arbor Elf or whatever that says tap, untap a land. And so you get to go tap Guy's Cradle for 40, play out a whole bunch of stuff, all the triggers on the stack, tap the cradle, untap the cradle, tap the cradle, untap the cradle, tap the cradle, untap the cradle. Like, if that can happen, why is Tolarian Academy the only one on there?
Exactly.
And I can see some of these, World Fire, because it exiles all permanents and cards in hand and graveyards, and then everybody's life total becomes 1, and you can technically abuse that and kill people in the same turn.
Yep.
because you can float the mana and do something in response. Like, there's a whole bunch of weird, stupid shit you can do that. But like, what is it? What's the other one? Sway of the Stars. It costs 10. Each player shuffles his or her hand, graveyard, and permanents he or she owns into their library. Draw 7 new cards, and each player's life total becomes 7. Why is that banned?
And it costs 10.
It costs 10. Like,
yeah, no, I
and
agree.
they shuffle all their permanents in. So yes, again, you can float all the mana, but here's the thing: is it costs 10. So are you going to is the match going so long that you have 20 mana to be able to float 10 of it, play that for 10, and then be able to fill out the board?
Yeah.
And you're drawing 7 brand new random cards. So you may just draw a bunch of chuds or mana ramp. Anyway,
I agree.
Primeval Titan is the only Titan on here, and yes, it fetches for any lands. Who gives a shit?
And that's the reason why it's banned, is because it fetches for any land.
Yep. But it's like, cool, I fetch for Tolarian Academy and Dark Depths. Okay. I don't see how this card being in the 99
on turn 6.
On turn, yes, it is green, so you can get it out quicker. Mana ramp is huge in Commander, but you're not guaranteed to get it. And again, if you are running all the green tutors, you know, you're running World Tutor, Tooth and Nail, and all that stuff to get it out, just to get those lands out, why don't you just use Sylvan Offering, I think it is? Or Sylvan Scrying, I think. It's 1 and a green sorcery. Search your deck for any land card and put it in your hand.
There you go. Way better.
Yeah. It's a sorcery. It's not banned. It costs 2, and I can get the Dark Depths or the Gaia's Cradle or whatever the fuck I'm needing out in my hand on turn 2.
Yep.
But that's not banned. So, Gristlebrand is another one. He costs fucking 8 for 7/7 flying lifelink, pay 7 life, draw 7 cards. He's cool. He costs 8. Even if you've got Cabal Coffers and Shrine to Nyx and all that stuff, it's still going to take a while to get him out. Let us draw cards. I don't see Ancestral Vision on here. I don't see Opportunity or any of the blue card draw. It's Yawgmoth's Bargain and Gristlebrand. It's the two of the best black draw spells.
Yep. Hey, but at least you can play Yawgmoth's Will.
Oh, yes, I can play Yawgmoth's Will, which is quite possibly the most broken black card in the entire game.
Yeah.
So, Wizards, I'd love to ask you, why are you hating on black players? But anyway. One other thing about Commander that I do want to touch on. Why did you only allow silver bordered cards, so the cards from the unsets, for like a 2-week period? And it was over the holidays when everybody was out of town.
Yeah, who knows?
Like, just put something in the rules that's like, it's up to the tournament organizer or the individual meta. These cards are legal, but you do have a banned list, but those cards aren't legal anyway. So, Wizards, get your shit together. So let's talk reserve list.
Let's talk about Wizards getting their shit together.
So you guys have heard us talk before about the reserve list a little bit.
Sure.
It is basically a list of cards that they have decided that they will not reprint, and the reason why is to protect the investments of collectors and investors.
Yep.
So, for instance, something like Gaia's Cradle is on the reserve list. That's why it's a $300 up card, and that's why it will continue to go up. Some weird cards are on there, like Masticore.
Yep.
But there's a pretty long reserve list.
It's huge. So, let's just get our opinions. I'll get mine out of the way first. I fucking hate the reserve list. I think it is a stupid piece of shit that should have never been invented, and Wizards should fucking destroy the reserve list.
Yes.
Anarchy
I
for
actually
all.
completely agree.
Hack the
I
planet.
actually completely agree. I completely agree because I think the reserve list is actually going against the, let's just call it the prime directive, which is that this is a trading card game. There are more people that play it than people who collect it. So when you sit there and you go, hey, some fucking schmuck over here who has a Gaia's Cradle gets to keep his $300 card, locked up tight in a neat little case. And it'll eventually go up to higher pricing as they don't reprint it. But the people who are sitting here going, for instance, me, you, RJ, half of my friends, if they're like, if you reprinted Gaia's Cradle and it was $80, I'd be buying it.
Yep. Or I'd buy the set that it came out of.
And that's the other thing. The people who are collectors don't buy the sets. Yep. They're only buying old cards, which Wizards doesn't make any money off of. If you buy singles, Wizards doesn't make any money.
And they're not buying boxes of new stuff or cards that they want to collect because they want
it's not on the reserve list.
Yeah, they want the old cards. A good example is a hardcore collector is going to have none of the iconic Masters mana drains. Mm-hmm. They are all going to be legends. Why? Yep. Because they look better, they have nostalgia, and they're worth more. And they always will be.
And see, this is the other thing of kind of like what we were talking about with Masters 25 and just Masters sets in general, of the reason why people say, no, the reserve list is important to protect the people who spent, $500 on a Chains of Mephistopheles or whatever, which is a shit card that was artificially inflated just because it's on the reserve list.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Fuck those investors. I'm sorry.
But
I don't
here's
care
the thing.
About them.
You are correct. But here's the thing is, Jace, the Mind Sculptor, was $500 and then he got banned and he dropped to nothing.
Yep.
Then he was hovering around $65. Okay? They announced Masters 25 with him in it and said he was getting unbanned in Modern. He shot up to about 260, 280 for the first week, and then he went down to about 150 or 164, then 150, and now he's down to about 114. So he's still almost doubled in price.
Yep.
So the fact that people
made them available.
Yes, but the fact that people are sitting here going, if you reprint a card, it loses all its value. That is actually, factually incorrect. Right. If you reprint a Gaia's Cradle, if you brought it back for a master set, the old Gaia's Cradle is still going to be $300.
It will be.
The new one is going to be $200.
But the problem is investors don't believe that is true. They believe it will go down in value.
And do you know what I say to those people?
Fuck them.
Please kindly eat a bag of flaming dicks and choke on them.
Yep.
Choke long and hard and deep. Because I don't give a flying fuck about investors when it comes to a card game.
I think the single worst thing in Magic is people who buy the cards and never play the game.
Hmm?
Investors. Investors are the Republicans of Magic. And they can go to hell.
You're not wrong. But you're really correct, though, is that it is a trading card game, which means it is a game before it is a collectible. When you go out and you are playing Standard and you're paying $400 for a Standard deck, playing hyper competitively, new set comes out, new rotation hits, you're buying all the new singles, you're buying packs, you're drafting, you're doing something, you are supporting Wizards of the Coast. You are giving them money, you're supporting your local game stores, you're supporting your online game stores, you're supporting the meta. You're keeping the game alive because it's popular, you're spending money on it, which means that the people who are getting the money for it, like the local game stores, is buying more product from Wizards. So Wizards is making more money so that they can keep doing this. It's literally supply and demand. What becomes the problem is when somebody goes, hey, I'm going to buy, and I just keep using Gaia's Cradle because Gaia's Cradle still pisses me off because I want one really bad, but I'll never be able to afford it.
I understand.
If somebody goes, I want to buy Gaia's Cradle, they go on eBay, they go to a flea market, they go to a fucking card shop that doesn't know what they're doing. They go to, garage sales and stuff like that and buy all these collections, and they find a whole bunch of, Urza Saga stuff in there, and they got a whole bunch of money out of it for $10. But the problem is, I know, I do too, especially around here. But when you go and you buy a card that's an old card, that's a single card, you're not supporting anybody. You're not supporting the local game store, because guess what? They probably didn't make any money off of it, because they probably bought it from somebody for, let's say, half price, so $150.
And then it sat in their case for 3 years.
Yep. So yeah, they may have made $150 off of it, but honestly, local game stores lose more money than they gain half the time.
Just in inventory stock.
Look at look at Destiny. Look at the Final Fantasy card game. A lot of stuff like that, where they even Game of Thrones and Star Wars, the LCG and stuff like that. Our local game store had just tons of chapter packs and big boxes for all the LCGs. And then when they go, hey, we're canceling the game, or we're rebooting Game of Thrones, all of their 1.0 stuff dropped down to $1.
Yep.
So they lost a whole bunch of money. No. Well, so if they make $150 off of a Gaia's Cradle that nobody's going to buy, they just are making up for losses in another department.
Yep. Now, I'm not unreasonable. I understand. I'm never going to see the reserve list torn up and thrown away. I'm even willing to meet Wizards halfway. Put some stuff on the reserve list. I understand. Mox, Lotuses, Library of Alexander. I get it. I really do get it.
Those cards make sense because, one, sure, let's protect the investors on those because they're already so expensive and nobody plays them anyways. They're only legal in one format. And that format, more than likely, at any game store that you go to, is going to allow profit.
Right. So I get the vintage cards. The cards that are restricted in Type 1, I can see being on the reserve list. Fuck it. Mm-hmm. What does piss me off is shit like Urtai, Wizard Adept. Why the fuck is that on the reserve list? It's not even an expensive card. It's a $7 card.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the point, is they have hundreds of cards on this reserve list that don't need to be there.
Yep. But there's also some stuff on here that should never be on the reserve list, like Brainstorm. And it's not. But it's also restricted in Vintage.
I understand.
And Demonic Tutor. I would love to see Demonic Tutor come back. The last time we saw it was in Liliana and Angels and Demons dual deck, which was, 6 or 7 years ago, at least.
The big one is dual lands.
I agree.
I understand where people are coming from. Well, you can only play those in Legacy or Type 1. Mm-hmm. So, the people who play those formats, they have the money to pay for them. No, they don't. They really don't. You like to think that everybody who plays Legacy has thousands of dollars laying around.
And should they, though? Should that be the reason they don't get reprinted, is that only rich people play those, so only rich people should have them?
Yeah.
I had 2 or 3 dual lands from Revised or Unlimited or whatever, one of the two, is the white border ones. And I got them for buy one, get one free. I bought an Underground Sea for $40, and I got whatever the Scrubland or whatever it was like 35, so I got it free.
Yep.
And then I sold them in bulk as my collection when I quit for like $300, and they only went up.
Oh yeah.
And I felt stupid because back then I didn't know about the reserve. I didn't know that they would never get reprinted and that they would continuously go up.
Yep. In fact, to anybody who's looking at making money at Magic, the best thing to do is go onto the reserve list and buy those cards only.
Yeah.
And never sell them.
Ever.
Which, again, doesn't help Wizards one bit.
But also, here's the thing is, when you go and say, for instance, buy the cards off the reserve list and never sell them, then what are they doing? Because if you never sell the cards that you're buying, that, for instance, Gaia's Cradle, $300-$400. If you always just sit on it,
yep, you're doing nothing for the community.
Yeah, but it's also that card is not doing anything for you. And eventually, and I hate to say this, but eventually, Magic will die.
Yep.
I am surprised that it has made it 25 years. It has definitely withstood the test of time, but it is getting to the point where Wizards is fucking over their players more than normal. There are no, F&M promos anymore. There's no prize support for F&M anymore.
F&M promos are coming back.
That's good. Enough people must have fucking complained because so many, even local games, because you know how meta used to be on Friday nights. It was packed.
Yeah, there'd be 30 people.
We go there on Fridays to play Commander, and we just kind of sit in our own little corner. Dude, there's only like 5 tables taken up.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Terrible. And it's not because
of
the
Magic
game
Online
itself. Well, yeah, and it's definitely not because of Arena or Hearthstone or Eternal. It's because the game is kind of in a weird spot right now. It's not in a bad spot for Standard, but it's just like, it's fine. But when you don't properly reward players, for me, I'm driving from 2 cities over if I go play at Meta.
Yeah.
And when I have to make that kind of a drive, stay out late, usually have to grab dinner, and then spend the gas to go up and back, but I don't get a free promo that has, some sort of actual tangible value. Kind of like the old, I remember the Path to Exile F&M promo that we had. That thing's like $40 now.
Yep. Oh, and don't forget, the monthly textless cards we don't get anymore.
Yeah, don't get those anymore either. God, I remember when you got super lucky and they accidentally sent you a playset of textless Wrath of Gods.
Yep. I wish I still had those.
Me too. I remember having a textless Wrath and a textless Damnation.
Yep. I had a textless Mana Leaks.
Oh, those are so cool.
Yeah.
And some of those you can still find for fairly cheap online. But Wizards is not rewarding players, and then they're just punishing players. They're punishing people by charging $10 a pack for master sets that don't give you anything. They're not giving out promos for F&M, which if they, like you said, they are bringing back. But also the prize support at most game stores now for F&M is not even a tournament structure. It's you play, and then you get a credit payout for your record. So you don't even go to top 4 and finals and stuff like that. It's, I won 3 games. Cool, you had the highest record along with these other 6 people. Yay.
Yay.
I got $10 store credit or whatever. So I can my $500 standard deck got me a pack of Masters 25.
Pretty much.
That hurt me to say that, actually. Like, that actually physically hurt me once I saw that perspective. Yeah, but I'm looking at...
Texas Lightning Bolts, $100.
Fuck, I had one of those too. I also had the Texas, what was it? Lightning Helix. But yeah, I'm looking at the reserve list right now, and it's just pages, pages and pages and pages of it.
Oh yeah, all over the place.
Let's just take a look here and see how many pages it actually is. It is 13 pages.
That is way too much.
13 pages of cards that will never be reprinted.
No chance of them being reprinted, ever.
Nope. I don't get that at all. And they've actually gone back on this a little bit, because didn't you say early this morning, like, there was a card that got reprinted in one of the
Masticore.
From the vaults? Yeah, Masticore. Masticore got reprinted in one of the From the vaults, but it's on the reserve list. So how does that happen? Is the reserve list like this weird thing where it's just, it can't be reprinted in packs?
No clue.
Like, it just says the reserved list is a list of cards that will never be reprinted by Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a shit show. I want the reserve list to go away. Or even just bring back some of them. They are too heavy with the banhammer. They're too heavy with the reserved list. And the reserve list does nothing for the game.
It really doesn't.
No. Now, if you remove stuff from the reserve list, though, all it would do is help the game. Because removing something like Brain Geyser or the dual lands or something like that, and again, this is if the pricing did drop, which it wouldn't for the old stuff, because that stuff's out of print. So however many Gaia's Cradles, Tolarian Academies, Bayous, Badlands, whatever, that are out there right now are the only ones that are out there. But if you reprint a Bayou in a new set, the amount of ones from Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and Revised are still the same.
And here's the most important part. If you reprint cards that are unavailable nowadays, you will get more people interested in those formats.
Yep.
Younger kids who only play Standard because they can't afford Modern, what did they do? They did Modern Masters.
Yep.
The problem is the reserve list ends at Urza's block.
Yep.
So what that means is you can't really do an Eternal Masters. Because so much of it is on the reserve list.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this, and Urza's Legacy has like 25 cards. Just Legacy. And Saga has about the same.
Exactly.
That is insane.
No, what's really insane is Wrath of God foil textless is $20. Day of Judgment foil textless is like $10, and Damnation foil textless is like $80.
Yeah, because Damnation's been reprinted once, I think.
That is insane.
Yep. And also, apparently, a lot of people got 4 textless Wrath of Gods.
Yeah, probably.
That was back when Wizards was like, fuck it, we messed up, I don't care. Do it for everybody then.
My question is, do you think they're ever going to reprint Day of Judgment again?
Day of Judgment? Probably not.
They will never reprint Wrath of God again.
Why, though?
It has the word God in it.
Oh no!
Christians! Yeah, but it will never get reprinted again because it has the word God in it. So, maybe we might see Day of Judgment again. Maybe. I might pick up 4 foil textless ones. For just maybe. Maybe we'll see it.
Just maybe.
Yeah, I think I will eventually.
There you go. But yeah, I don't know. I'm ready for them to fix some of this stuff. Now, on to the future of Magic. And we've talked a little bit about it with, what removing cards from the reserve list would do for the future and fixing the commander band list and fixing master sets and Magic Arena and stuff like that. But
here's the part where we're going to get the emails.
Yep. Because Crimson would like them to do a full-on second edition reboot.
I would love to see a reboot of Magic. I know, it's sacrilege.
Talk about fucking over the reserve list.
In hell.
Talk about fucking over the reserve list and all the investors. Magic's dead. Second edition's coming out. That Black Lotus now.
Now, I wouldn't want it to change so much that if you were playing Vintage, you couldn't use the Magic 2.0 cards in Vintage. You know, they would be more than capable. But I would like to see Magic restructured.
Yeah.
Now, and they are doing some of this. 1 core per year, 3 boxes per year, 3 sets.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see certain keywords become evergreen, like kicker, buyback, threshold, flashback.
Yep.
Where it's not... I would like to see all keywords be not set Pacific or block Pacific. Yep. I would like them to go, when they do create a new keyword, it is entertaining, it is engaging, and it may come back no matter what set. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand a lot of them will have themes, like you might have a set that has a lot of threshold, and then you might have a different set that has a lot of buyback. But give me these keywords back.
But also, like, we have Dominaria coming out, and kicker is not back in it, buyback's not, flashback. Obviously, flashback was more like Odyssey, Torment, Judgment, and stuff like that. But same with Threshold and stuff. But like kicker and buyback,
we had Think Twice in Time Spiral, which is Dominaria to Fury.
Now, also though, Time Spiral block was kind of odd because it was that all the keywords at once. Because it had buyback, it had kick. Actually, I don't think it had kicker, but it did have flashback and buyback and stuff like that.
No
but
threshold.
The interesting
threshold is evil.
I was going to say,
thou shalt never threshold again.
Thou shalt never threshold again. Fucking Termigo. But the idea that we have a Dominaria set coming out that doesn't have these keywords in it feels kind of odd, because it feels like a missed opportunity when you sit there and go, hey, buyback's been around since what, Tempest?
Yep.
When the whole Weatherlight crew was like at its peak.
Yeah.
So
with a restructuring of Magic, you could restart Modern over. Of course, it's going to be standard for a little bit. But then Modern will grow again. You could, and this is the most important thing, is if you have a program like Arena and you incorporate more features into it, a lot more features, you could put, like Pokemon does, barcodes in the packs that will give you a pack in Arena. This would offset maybe some of the price structures that they're having a problem with Arena right now. And because I'll tell you what, man, that's a great idea to be able to combine those two. So that way when I go buy a pack of Magic, I'm also getting a pack in Arena. Now granted, I could probably just buy Arena packs for cheaper, but this allows them to double dip. Yeah.
And it allows them to double dip in a way that doesn't screw over either side.
Correct.
Now, and kind of like what you're talking about, this is almost more of a soft reboot that I would like.
Yes.
Is that you don't phase out the cards that we already have.
No.
Because the cleaning up of the rules that we kind of need, like fixing the stack and stuff like that, that sort of thing isn't necessarily something that is referenced by a lot of cards. So to restructure the stack itself would not ruin the game that we already have. But what we could do is come out with a new core set that has the old dual lands in it, that has Gaia's Cradle, Tolarian Academy, Sarah's Sanctum, Masticore, a lot of the cards that are on the reserved list, or cards that are just too fucking expensive.
But because
it comes
it's
out
Magic
of a core set.
2.0, technically they're not reprinting them in Magic.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But that is a way for them to get around it.
But this is more of a soft reboot where it's not Magic the Awakening. It's still Magic the Gathering, but what they're doing is they're basically resetting the timetable.
Although
they are bringing
totally cool with Magic the Awakening.
Yeah, because you haven't bought, $700 worth of fucking Magic cards over the past couple of months. Here's the thing, though, is that it's harder to get somebody into a new game than to fix the game that's already there.
I agree.
And when you have people who play Vintage and they've got, $9,000 decks or whatever, they're not going to want to play this new game. But when you can sit there and go, all of those cards are still legal, they're still in Vintage, Vintage is still a thing, but you can actually sit there and go, Bayous are getting reprinted, and all these new cards are getting reprinted. In the core set, they will be in Standard.
Yeah, let people play Magic the way I remember Magic being played. It didn't break Magic back then. It's not going to break Magic now.
Exactly. Bring back Force of Will in Standard. Bring back Gaia's Cradle. Bring back Tolarian Academy. Bring back all the dual lands.
Maybe not all at the same time.
No, but do it like, and you can even do it with new cards too, kind of like Dominaria. Like, bring back some of the cards from Weatherlight and Urza's Saga and Urza's Destiny and Tempest and stuff like that. Bring back those cards that nobody can find or buy anymore.
Or
but
if you
in
can't
the core set
around the reserve list, change the name.
Yeah, you can change the name, and that would be fine. The only problem with that is let's say they reprint Bayou, or let's say Scrubland, which is the black-white dual land. Let's say they just outright reprint it with a different name. Now the people in Vintage have 2 dual lands.
Correct.
And that's where the fuckery happens.
Yep.
If you reprint Scrubland and it's now Standard legal and blah blah blah, first off, the price is not going to go down for the old one.
No.
But the new one is going to make you more money, because guess what? If you put that in a core set and that core set booster box is $140,
I'm buying it.
I'm buying it. Yeah, I'll buy a fucking case of it.
Yeah.
Because those dual lands are going to be $70, $80 right out the box.
Yep.
That's how you revitalize this game. You go, you know what? We're starting fresh for Standard.
How do we get people to buy boxes?
Yeah, but stop continuing the trend of going, hey, we're going to go to Ixalan, and it's going to be dinosaurs and pirates and vampires. That's cool.
No, I want my Wrath Cycle back.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, Ixalan is fine. But we've gotten so far away from the old stories, but now we're going back to Dominaria, but then it all doesn't really do with any of the old cards other than names. Give us old Magic back. Reprint the dual lands. Reprint the stuff that's on the reserve list that people play and want to play and need.
I agree.
But give us that as the core set. Let the core set be the basis for the meta. In one core set, the dual lands come back. In the next core set, Gaia's Cradle, Tolarian Academy, Sarah's Sanctum. In the next core set, Force of Will, and this thing and that thing.
Contagion, Kinesis.
Yeah. You can do that. It's your game, Wizards. Stop letting the investors tell you how to do your own game.
Your job is to make money.
Your job is to make money and keep people interested in your game to continue to make money. You are not doing that anymore.
I agree, man.
And like we were talking about the keywords and stuff, and this is actually something that pissed me off, and we talked about this morning as well. And that was, there was an Eldrazi card that I saw when I was looking through because I was working on a list for an EDH deck, and it said, when you cast this card, you may pay whatever this extra cost is. If you do, it comes into play and does this other thing. And I'm like, that sounds like Kicker. That's actually Kicker. It's actually literally Kicker. But it didn't say Kicker 2 in a colorless or whatever. Oh. And I'm like, why? Why would you not just have that keyword on there? If it does the same as a keyword that you already have that exists, why would you not just put that on there? Like, not only is that a missed opportunity to bring back a keyword that people liked, but also it's making the game more complicated.
It is.
Like, oh, I'll play this and I'll kick it. Oh, actually, that doesn't say Kicker, but it's the same as Kicker.
Hell,
yeah, but it's actually not Kicker.
I play L5R, and we have a card called Bonsai. And 99% of the time, when somebody plays that, they go, I'll play Bonsai with Kicker.
Yep. Yeah. Wizards, listen. Listen to us.
Yeah, mainly Wizards just do something.
We use your terminology in every other. When I play Game of Thrones, I say, I tap this character.
Oh, they hate that.
Well, I mean, I'm not an investor, so they shouldn't care what I say, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. And this is, like, the most ranty episodes. So bear with us, people. It's all over. But...
Hey, and for you investors out there, make sure when the new set comes out that you buy 5,000 Mox Ambers and up the price up to 120 each.
They will, because it says Mox on it.
Yep. Just wait for me to get my place first.
Yeah, no shit. Like, I don't even remember how much that thing's going for. It's
like
arbitrary
$25, $30 right now. Pre-order.
Pre-order. Yeah, $25 on cool stuff.
It's almost worth buying 4 of them right now.
If they had them in stock, that'd be great. I can't even buy the pre-order because the pre-order's been bought out.
Jeez.
But, you know, boxes are going to be $80, so...
Yeah.
You can gamble it.
Yeah, it might be worth buying a couple boxes of Dominaria.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
I don't know. Also, the buy a box promo not being found in packs. What are you doing, guys? Like, it feels like they're constantly tripping over their own dicks, and then complaining that they're constantly tripping over their own dicks, and then tripping over their own dick again.
Yep.
Like, you guys are doing nothing but screwing everything up, and then complaining that people don't like it when you fuck them over, and then you do it again.
Yeah, pretty much. So my word of advice to Wizards is stop fucking up.
Yeah.
Just because
you're the most popular card game out there does not mean that you should be the cocky little shits that you are.
Pretty much.
Because the thing with doing that is you will eventually push people out of the game. And when those people leave, the metas shrink. And then as metas shrink, then the stores don't support it as much. And when the stores don't support it as much, less and less players come, which means less and less tournaments, which means less and less product that they're buying from you, which means less money for you, which means you go under. So stop it.
Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Okay.
Also, your your R&D team needs to pull their heads out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm done with my rant.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
None here, man.
All right. Wizards, stop being fuckboys. As always, thank you all for listening, especially because this episode is just horrible. I'm sorry, but Magic is in a real bad state, and somebody needs to say it. You can check out our previous episodes, less ranty, at gamers.com, as well as on iTunes and Google Play. You can keep up to date with us on Facebook and Twitter at 2Mediocre Gamers. You can chat with us on Discord and tell us what you think about Magic. Links, as always, will be posted in the description below. And get out there and play some games and go artificially inflate the market for all the cards and ruin everything for everyone. Bye!
And just as a reminder that my Twitch has changed, it is now Twitch at Crimson Invec. If you are a Magic player, you will understand those two words.
Yes.